Alright, all you beautiful people out there today, I got an instructional video for you. Anybody who might be an aspiring singer-songwriter or a new guitarist, this could come in very handy. And just like Bud Light, this one's for you.
Bud Light presents
Real Man of Genius. Mr. Aspiring Singer-Songwriter Guitarist. Mr. Aspiring Singer-Songwriter Guitarist. So as most early guitarists, we learned the 5 basic chord shapes. A, E, G, C, and D. Now you probably noticed that I skipped B and F. And that's simply because B is just A slid up 2 frets, while F is simply E slid up 1 fret. Now because all these shapes are movable, it opens up really good possibilities for when you're wanting to overdub or play the same chord without it sounding stale. So yeah, we can all play D here, and that sounds nice, but it kind of has this campfire sound. But if I take the A shape and just slide it up to the 7th fret, now I'm playing D again. Now if I play it like a power chord versus this, you get a different timbre in the way the notes are played. And the real beauty in something like this comes when you know your 1, 4, and 5 chords. So if you're playing an A, your 4 is D, your 5 is E, and that E wants to lead back to an A. So you can play it and that sounds fine. But now that we know that D would be on 7th, if you know that E is just 1 whole step above a D, the E is going to be on your 9th fret, and so you can play your A shape and it has a different quality to it. It has that sliding feel. It glides a little more than something like that would. Now this works with the A shape, the E shape, and the D shape really well. Now the A and the E just become your bar chords or your power chords. So no matter what fret you're on the low E string, you know what chord you're playing. On the 2nd fret it's an F sharp. On the 5th fret it's an A. On the 8th fret it's a C. Same thing. On the 2nd fret of the A string is a B, D, E, F, goes all the way up. Now with the D shape, you can also slide it up and down if you don't hit that open D string. And all of a sudden, that opens up a world of possibilities for how you want to play your chords. So with the D shape, you open up the same kind of possibilities. Now I'm playing D, G, A, D. And that's my 1, 4, 5. So all I have to do is locate where the G and the A chords would be. Well, the nice thing about D is this ring finger note, that's the chord you're on. So 3 is D, 8 is G, just like the 3 here. So all I need to do is go from 3, 8, 10, and then back to D. But now that we've shown how the A shape can slide up to the 7th fret and become a D, I can change this pattern from going to now doing this. Now with E and A shapes, it's easy to focus just on the power chords. And that's fine, you can do that. But like we looked at earlier, the A shape, it can slide up. You just have to be careful about those 2 open strings. Same thing with the E. If you're careful and don't play these 2 high strings, you can also slide the E shape up. But there's also another way you can play these chords focusing on the high notes. So if you take the 3 highest strings of the A chord, the 2, 2, 0, and you just keep that relationship, 4, 4, 2, 5, 5, 3, that sort of thing, you can slide that shape up becomes a nice chord, and this would be your barred E chord, just played slightly differently. Same thing with the open E chord. You just take the 3 highest strings, 1, 0, 0, and you keep that relationship. 4, 3, 3, 6, 5, 5. And you can slide that up. And the beautiful thing with this is, whatever the high E string is, that's your root chord. So if you're on the 7th, that's a B. And that's simply because you're just playing the 3 highest notes of the B power chord. So now you can move this shape around, and now all of a sudden we're at A. Now the 2 hardest chords to move around are C and G, and that's because they've got open strings in between them. Now C, your open string, is a G. Now for any chord that has a G in it, that'd be fine, but a nice pattern you can use is looking at how the C chord is made, and if you take away the root C, you've got 2, 0, 1. Well, if you slid that up, now the 0 can be a 2 here, the 1 can be a 3, and the 2 can be a 4. And now, you're playing a D chord based off the A chord. And where that comes in handy is in blues, rock, things like that. Even gospel, if you want to do like an A vamp, you're just going from the 1 to the 4, but you don't even have to really move your pivot fingers. And now all of a sudden, you're in a position where you can go from the A to the D to an E and then up to an A. And so you can play this same pattern in this form. And one of the nice things about knowing how to slide these chords around and where each chord is going to wind up is you can actually create an ascending or descending melody just by playing your chords. So if I'm playing a progression from A to D to E back to A, I can actually create an ascending melody of E to F sharp to G sharp back to A by doing this. And all of a sudden, you have a nice melody built into your chord pattern. Now with the G shape, you're looking at 3, 2, open, 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 and then 3. And so you could technically slide that up and make it 5, 4, 2, 2, 2, 5. But if you have shorter fingers, it's a little harder to get a good bar on there and to slide it up. But one of the beautiful things of looking at this is that A chord we were looking at earlier, the 2, 2, 2, that's the same thing as open, open, open. Your G chord has that A bar built into it if you just take away the 2 low strings and the high E. That's a G. So you can play that using just a D, G, and B string and just barring it. And you're now playing the A shape. And that's how they all kind of come together nicely, and you start discovering patterns and different ways you can play it. One of the other things I like to do with the G shape, though, is take the highest strings, so 0, 0, 0, and then 3, to bar these strings, and then just put 1 a third above. So if you're playing an A, something like that, well, if you just take the 3 highest strings, you can go 2, 2, 5, and now you can play. So if you're playing that original open chord pattern of A to D to that real low E, and you're just really digging into it, you can come up and play the high A. So you get that real high A note after the real low E. Now, one of the nice things about movable chords is being able to manipulate the open strings. On an A chord, you have an A and an E that are open. On an E chord, you have an E, a B, and an E. So play around, look at the chords, see which ones you can add a B, an E, an A, an E, anything like that, whatever's open, and make it sound nice. You might be able to slide right into another major chord. You could create a 7th chord, a 6th chord, a 9th, 11th, anything like that, and just add a little bit of color and a little bit of spice into the chords you're using, so you're not just playing the same basic E and G and C that every other campfire guitarist out there is playing. Alright, I hope y'all learned something today. I hope you found something useful in this. If you did, take from it, use it, put it into your own songs. Always remember to follow the music and own the show. Be sure to follow me at B_Rowan on Instagram. I'll try to keep you updated with some of the cool scenery I see out there and maybe a few pictures and songs of me playing a little bit of guitar, drumming, anything like that. I don't know. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that great stuff. I very much appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. I hope you all have a great day. B-Row, ouch!